What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here with my full card predictions for UFC 311. I'm extremely excited to talk about this card. We got some banger fights on the main card. We got Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. We got Merab on here, Umar, aka Umna. We got Yuri Prohaska. Let's go for that. We got Jamal Hill. We got Beneil. We got Money Moicano. We got my boy RDR. Payton Talbert's on here. Jilton Almeida, I believe, is on here. Grant Dawson. And the rest are nobodies. But hey, man, let's get into this, dude. Starting off in the early prelims. Let's get this going. We've got Olan Bekov from Team Khabib versus the undefeated Clayton Carpenter. This is a pretty interesting flyweight fight. Both of these guys, I feel like the UFC wants to push them onto bigger and better things, especially Olan Bekov, who is ranked, but is fighting pretty much like NPCs at flyweight. He's not really fighting big names at the moment. He was supposed to fight Alex Perez or some shit like that, but he's been dropped down a little bit. And I think that this is a pretty winnable matchup for him. I'm going to say Olan Bekov wins this one pretty handedly. He's like a ranked level flyweight. Clayton Carpenter hasn't really fought anybody in the UFC yet. So I think that with the size and reach advantage of Olan Bekov, this guy's fucking ginormous at flyweight. He's training with Team Khabib and Umar. I don't think he's anywhere as good as them, but he's going to get some residual effects from training with them. Bro might develop some talent training with guys like that. You'd think so. So I'm going to say that Olan Bekov locks up a submission in this fight. I think that he's going to be able to lock up a guillotine or like a ninja choke, Das choke, something like that from the front headlock position. I feel like he's going to be a little bit patient on the feet early on, and then the grappling is going to be where he gets this one done. I'm going to say Olan Bekov wins this one via submission, because I'm pretty sure his striking is just not like non-existent or just not that good. So I'm going to say Olan Bekov wins this via submission. He's going to have to grapple in this one. Next up, we got Ricky Turcios versus Bernardo Sopajaj. This guy got colded via flying knee by Vinicius Oliveira. And for some reason, he is a 3-1 favorite in this fight. People are betting the house on Bernardo Sopaj, bro. I'm picking Ricky Turcios to win this fight. I know that Ricky Turcios is a meme. He fights like fucking 2023 Tony Ferguson. But honestly, he's actually a little bit underrated. Like, he is good at winning a split decision, and I will give him that. Bernardo Sopaj is a pretty small bantamweight. Like, he looked very undersized against Vinicius Oliveira. And again, you can see on the screen, he's smaller than Ricky Turcios. He's at a big reach disadvantage. I think that Turcios is going to, like, jab at him from range, flick out some leg kicks. He's a pretty underrated grappler as well. He was actually doing really well against Raul Rosas Jr. before he got finished. And I feel like he had more success than some of these people that are going the distance with Raul Rosas Jr. and losing. Like, they're just getting smudged and held down. Ricky Turcios actually had Raul Rosas Jr. in a lot of trouble early on with a rear naked choke. So I'm just going to say Ricky Turcios actually just outmuscles Bernardo Sopaj. Probably just lays on him a little bit. I seem to remember Oliveira grappling him pretty easily as well. Oh no, Sopaj took him down. That's right. But I don't know. I just don't think that's going to work against Ricky Turcios, because he is actually a very good grappler. And I think that he's going to be long and big and win a split decision, honestly, bro. I'm not going to put too much thought into this, bro. No one actually cares, but I'm picking Ricky Turcios, bro. Next up, we got Rinya Nakamura, man. This guy's a problem, bro. Oh my god, man. Rinya Nakamura, whatever this kid's name is. People act like this guy's fucking goated, bro. I do not get it at all. I literally get angry comments and messages about not glazing Rinya Nakamura. Because he beat Ryan Hall's fucking NPC little brother. That being said, Muin Gafarov, this hairy little fucker, literally looks like such a... I don't know how to describe Muin Gafarov other than I think you would see him on a certain TV show in the 90s. That's all I'll say about Muin Gafarov's appearance. He's a very hairy guy. Look in this guy's hard drive. That's all I'm going to say, dude. But when it comes to the MMA analysis, Muin Gafarov is not that good. He's like a short, stocky, hairy little fucker. Rinya Nakamura is probably just better overall. He's got pretty decent power. He's a very good wrestler. I think Rinya Nakamura is just going to take this guy down and lay on him to a decision. Maybe he gets a submission, maybe, but honestly, I don't rate Rinya Nakamura that highly, but I just think he's better than Muin Gafarov. So I'm going to say Rinya Nakamura goes out there, lands some big shots early on, gets takedowns, controls this guy, wins a decision 30-27. Yeah, I'm going to say unanimous decision victory for Rinya Nakamura. Just being overall better, more talented. And again, check this guy's hard drive ASAP. All right, next up, we got Carol Rosa versus Aylin Perez. I really don't like picking Aylin Perez because I think she's fucking mid, bro. Like, I'm just going to be real, dude. I just think she's complete mid, average, run-of-the-mill, women's bantamweight fighter that's like a little thick, you know, can box a little bit, can grapple a little bit. Like, there's nothing that Aylin Perez does that I'm like, whoa, bro, she's a prospect, man, except shake her ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally her only highlights is shaking ass. So I almost want to pick Carol Rosa because she had a very good fight against Irene Aldana. Like, they had a very entertaining fight. Carol Rosa's got pretty decent striking. But she's like a win one, lose one type of fighter. And unfortunately for Carol Rosa, she's coming off a win. The UFC loves Aylin Perez. She has plot armor. We all know why. I'm going to say Aylin Perez sneaks this one in by decision. I think that Aylin Perez is going to be able to use her grappling. I could honestly see her randomly hurting Carol Rosa on the feet with her hands as well. And I feel like Aylin Perez, as this fight goes on, is going to build momentum, get takedowns a lot easier, and win based on control time. I'm going to say Aylin Perez wins this by decision 29-28. Let me know how this fight goes. I will not be watching, brother. Main event of the early prelims, my boy, Islam Makhachev. I'm your replacement. We got Grant Dawson cooking up on the prelims against Diego Ferreira. I'm very excited about this fight. These guys are fucking awesome, dude. These are two guys that honestly should be ranked above Benoit Saint-Denis. Not gonna lie, bro. These guys literally should be ranked above Benoit Saint-Denis. These are two very high-level lightweight fighters. Very entertaining to watch. And, dude, the thing I'm looking forward to in this matchup is the scrambling, bro. I feel like Grant Dawson is going to be able to out-wrestle Diego Ferreira, but he's not going to have an easy time holding him down, especially early on, bro. The thing about Carlos Diego Ferreira is early on, this guy can literally out-scramble anybody. This guy was out-scrambling fucking Gregor Gillespie, Beneil Dariush early on. He was extremely hard to hold down. He's throwing up submissions. In round 1 and early round 2, Diego Ferreira is extremely dangerous in the grappling, and I think he's going to be a really hard fight for Grant Dawson early on. He has decent power as well. I'm going to say that Carlos Diego Ferreira wins the first round and then starts to slow down a little bit in round 2. Like the way that Mateus Rebecki was kind of beating him up and then slowed down, usually that's Diego Ferreira in his fight. So I feel like in this matchup, it's going to be a little bit more of Grant Dawson takes him down, holds him down, looks for some ground and pound. Diego Ferreira throws up submissions, scrambles. He's putting on a really entertaining fight. As the fight goes on, Grant Dawson just continues to push the pace, get takedowns, get to the back. And I think eventually in round 3, we're going to see a Grant Dawson TKO. I'm going to say Grant Dawson does have a good performance in this. It's going to be extremely entertaining. This is like one of my fight of the night candidates. I'm looking at this matchup. I'm feeling like we're going to see a hood classic in this fight. I feel like Diego Ferreira is going to hurt him early on, out-scramble him a bit, and then he's going to get melted as the fight goes on because Grant Dawson is a very fucking good wrestler. Very good ground and pound as well. That's one thing that he has that not a lot of these boring wrestlers have. He can cause damage with his ground and pound. Like, he doesn't just take you down and lay on you. Most of the time, if he takes you down, he is actually causing damage. So I'm going to say Grant Dawson, round 3 TKO via ground and pound from either the mount or maybe from the back. Like, he has the back. He looks for some chokes, some big shots. Ferreira kind of bellies out and Dawson just punches him until the ref steps in. I'm going to say Grant Dawson wins that one by round 3 TKO. Let's move on to the prelims. First one we got Zachary Reese. This looks like a world star hip hop matchup, bro. This literally looks like some shit I'd see at school, bro. This looks like a street beefs fight, dude. Zachary Reese in this photo, does he not look like...
What's up? My name's Zach. Lightning McQueen, and I'm 4-0 in the scrapyard, and I'm ready to throw down. What's up? Shout out to my 7 kids.
Like, that's what he looks like in this fight. But when it comes to this matchup, it's really like, it could go either way. Like, I don't really rate either of these two very heavily. Zachary Reese, I'm full naming this fucking guy. Zachary Reese, he couldn't even finish the Jose Medina blob guy from the Contender Series. Who the fuck is Jose Medina, bro? Or Jesse Medina, or whatever this kid's name is. He came off Contender Series. He lost on Contender Series. Dana White signed him. By the way, Chris Curtis got a fucking highlight reel KO on Contender Series. Didn't get signed originally. This blob Mexican dude gets signed. Zachary Reese gets booked against him on short notice and cannot finish him for the life of him. Literally has to take him down and smudge him and lay on him. I think that Cedric Dumas is decently powerful on the feet. Like, he's pretty explosive. He's got good, like, finishing abilities, I would say. But his chin's a little bit sus. His wrestling is very sus as well. He's going mainly to a decision in the UFC most of the time. So I'm going to say that Zachary Reese hurts him early on and wins by KO in round 1. Or Reese probably wins by decision, like 29-28, maybe a little bit controversial. I just feel like Zachary Reese causes more damage and he's a little bit bigger and a little bit more explosive. Like, I feel like he's just going to be able to get takedowns a little bit easier than Dumas. And I feel like if they trade on the feet, I can picture Dumas going down before I can picture Reese going down in an exchange. So I'm going to pick Zachary Reese here, but I don't know. It's either round 1 KO or it's like a decision and he lays on him for 2 rounds. I'm just going to be real. Probably gasses out at some point as well. I think this is going to be a pretty mid-lackluster matchup if it doesn't end in the first round. All right? People's main event time, boys. People's main event. A lot of people are going, oh, Bedtime, what's your prediction for Makhachev Sarukian? I still don't know, bro. If you saw the video yesterday, I still don't know. You know, oh, Bedtime, what do you think of Merab Umar? Fuck that, bro. The real hardcores. We will be here watching Jilton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. He's a great fighter, you know. I can't even say the name Sergey Spivak without kind of half turning into Aspinall. So this guy's a legend of the channel. We're going to be rooting for Sergey Spivak. But he's getting fucking destroyed. I'm sorry, dude. Sergey Spivak is such a blob at heavyweight. The fact that people picked this guy to beat Cyril Gane. When I tell you, bro. Sergey Spivak, literally his job in this division. If you are a tubby, blobulous, rotund, back to the barnyard looking NPC heavyweight, you will get destroyed by Sergey Spivak. If you are athletic, if you're skillful, if you have abilities, if you have ambitions to be a heavyweight champion, you will beat Sergey Spivak, bro. Jilton Almeida is all of those things. Jilton Almeida, I believe, is going to take down Sergey Spivak, run him over with a double leg, like just go to the knees, run him over with a double leg, cause him to fall over. He's going to tumble comedically, I'm sure. And I think that Jilton Almeida is just going to do whatever he wants from Mount. It's either going to be a ground and pound TKO from Mount, or it's going to be a submission. Like Spivak turns, gives up his neck, gets rear naked choked immediately. Like face down, rear naked choke. Just stop resisting, fucking rear naked choke. Jilton Almeida will be winning this fight via finish inside 2 rounds, I believe. I am actually quite confident in Jilton Almeida to win this fight. I feel like Sergey Spivak, nobody's picking him. If he wins, I'm not going to say it's a fluke if he wins. I'm just saying, does anyone out there actually, except for the Spivak MMA guy that's in all my comment sections, but does anybody except that guy actually think Sergey Spivak's going to win this fight? Just waiting for your answer. No? Okay, cool, man. Let's move on then, boys. Let's move on. I'm glad we can agree on that. We got Payton Talbert. Now, guys, I actually met Payton Talbert. Yes, that is true. He's fighting Howey Barcelos. I ran into Payton Talbot. We were at a coffee shop. We were actually listening to some unreleased Frank Ocean together. We were talking about women's right, and Payton Talbot said that he's going to go into this fight. He's going to do a lot of grappling, and I believe the kid. That's a real thing. I really believe that. I really do. I think Payton Talbot's going to win this fight by decision or late submission. I actually think that Howey Barcelos, a lot of people would be deceived looking at his past couple of fights, or maybe just looking at the odds and seeing Payton Talbot's last fight and being like, dude, Payton Talbot by round 1 KO. I think Howey Barcelos is actually going to be like somewhat good, especially in the first round. And I think that Payton Talbot is going to be able to physically bully him around. I think he's a better striker. I think he's more powerful naturally. I'm sure he has a better chin. Probably like he's going to be able to physically out-grapple him as well. I think Howey Barcelos, literally, like, how is he supposed to win this fight, bro? Like, I think that there's no way he wins this, but I don't think that Payton Talbot's just going to KO him in the first round. So I'm going to say Payton Talbot maybe rocks him early on. Howey Barcelos grapples a little bit to survive. Payton Talbot reverses it, hits some kind of cool takedown from the clinch, maybe like a judo throw type of thing. And then we just get Payton Talbot in mount, dropping elbows, looking for submissions. Like I said, it's either going to be Payton Talbot by submission, or I'm going to say Payton Talbot wins mainly via grappling to a decision, like 30-27. Maybe he gets a 10-8 round at some point. I'm going to say Payton Talbot does win pretty cleanly, but I'm not going to say it's by KO. That's maybe my bold prediction of the card. I'm going to say Payton Talbot by late submission, rear naked choke probably, or by decision, all right? Headlining the prelims, $4.2 billion this company was sold for. You can't even fucking update your Google. Johnny Walker pulled out, bro. Johnny Walker pulled out. He's not fighting. Apparently, there was a gust of wind that got led into the gym. Oh, man. But Bogdan Guskov is fighting some other gentleman who's also named Johnny. He's named some... I don't actually know who he's fighting, but Bogdan Guskov's going to win by KO. So I don't even really need to talk about it. He's fighting some random ethnically variant Don't know what race this guy. Don't know where he's from. He's fought in PFL a little bit, so that's pretty exciting. I think Bogdan Guskov's going to KO this guy that they've got on short notice. I'm glad that we still get to see Age of 47 fight. I think that's going to be an exciting matchup. But yeah, I'm not picking this random short notice guy to beat Bogdan Guskov. I think Guskov is very powerful. I think he's going to be able to, even if he gets tagged up a little bit early on, which happens a lot for Guskov, I think he's going to be able to hurt this guy and finish him in round 1. End of round 1 or very early round 2. Like maybe round 1, I could see Rogan and Anik being like, oh, this kid's coming for a fight. And then round 2, Guskov just sleeps him. So that's my picks for the prelims. I've got Guskov, I've got Talbert, I've got Almeida, I've got Zach Reese, I've got Dawson, Perez, Nakamura, Tercios, and I got Olan Bekov on the prelims. Let's get into this main card, bro. Starting things off, we've got Kevin Holland versus Reinier de Ridder. Kevin Holland is the favorite again. People are picking Kevin Holland again. How many times do we have to fucking teach you this lesson, bro? How many times does Kevin Holland have to get matched up with someone that, yes, physically, resume-wise, experience-wise, Kevin Holland should wipe the fucking floor with Reinier de Ridder. That's a fact. He should. He should go out there, stuff his takedowns, threaten a Darce choke, and then KO him. That's what should happen. Does Kevin Holland actually do that to anyone that isn't a complete jobber at middleweight? This guy, people are being like, oh, Reinier de Ridder struggled with GM3. Can I direct you to the fact that Kevin Holland had to win a split decision against GM3? Can I just direct you to that fact? In his, years ago, bro. Not like, baby Kevin Holland. Like, near his prime, Kevin Holland, this guy's going to a decision with GM3. Meanwhile, RDR is out here chinning GM3, subbing GM3. That is actually impressive. Listen, dude, Reinier de Ridder is literally Dricus du Plessis 2.0. You need to understand this. He's going to go out there. He will get dropped at some point by Kevin Holland. He will look terrible. And then Kevin Holland's going to do something dumb. And Reinier de Ridder is going to pick up the pace on him, jab him to the body, threaten takedowns, pull guard if he has to, do dumb shit. Kevin Holland will slow down a little bit. Reinier de Ridder is going to land outside trips and get him down. And I just think Reinier de Ridder is going to end up on top. And Kevin Holland's not going to make smart decisions enough to where he will end up on the bottom grappling. He will get out grappled by Reinier de Ridder. He will get out scrambled, controlled, sit on his back, threatening submissions, get his guard passed, just fuck around. And I think that Reinier de Ridder is going to win a very boring decision. I'm going to say Reinier de Ridder wins this fight by either boring decision or maybe he locks up a submission at some point. But I'm going to say that Reinier de Ridder wins this via decision, just laying on Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland really doing it to himself like he always does. I'm just telling you, bro. Kevin Holland literally should win this fight, but I'm never fucking picking this guy again. Unless he's fighting Mikel or the Jacek, then I'll pick Kevin Holland, right? That's the last time I picked him. But otherwise, I'm not falling for this fucking trap, dude. In the words of J. Cole, fool me once, shame on me, or whatever it was, fool me twice, you're not gonna fool me again. You know what I'm saying, dude? Fuck that. I'm not picking you, bro. Next fight up, we've got Beneil Dariush versus Honto Moicano. I love that in this fight, people talk about Beneil Dariush like he's an old man. They're just like, dude, Beneil Dariush is so fucking old, man. Literally the same age as Moicano. And Moicano's taken so much damage as well. This guy got 50-40 forward by fucking RDA, bro. Literally got pieced up and dominated by RDA. I understand it was on short notice. I get that. I know that. I'm sure someone's raging about that in the comments. I'm picking Beneil Dariush to win this by decision, bro. I believe in Beneil Dariush. I don't give a fuck, dude. If I'm wrong, I don't care. I'm picking Beneil Dariush. Why? Because who is beating Beneil Dariush? Edson Barboza, right? Armin Sarukian by KO. Charles Oliveira by KO. What's the common denominator in those matchups? These guys have KO power. These guys are able to hurt you and drop you. Armin Sarukian didn't get a takedown on Beneil Dariush. Charles Oliveira didn't catch a body kick off Beneil Dariush and take him down. All I'm going to say is, I think Beneil Dariush would also beat the fuck out of Benoit Saint-Denis, who has zero head movement. And even then, Benoit Saint-Denis lost the first round 10-7 to Moicano. It looked like he went 6 rounds. And then he won the second round striking. Literally, the corpse of Benoit Saint-Denis outstruck Moicano. This guy went to a split decision with Drew Dober not that long ago, bro. I actually think that Moicano has done a masterful job of getting himself to the point where people think he's gonna dominate Beneil Dariush by beating Jalen fucking Turner and who's the other guy? Benoit Saint-Denis, bro. the fact, dude, Benoit Saint-Denis is fucking terrible. He should not be ranked. I said this before he fought Poirier. And even then, he went out there and managed to outstrike Moicano in the second round. I think that Beneil Dariush is going to stuff takedowns from Moicano. I think he's going to be way better at scrambling and grappling than Jalen Turner and Benoit Saint-Denis. I think he's got underrated power. He's going to be able to land some good shots on the feet. If Beneil Dariush goes out there and he's like turtle speed on the feet, okay, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like this could be a risky pick for me, but I actually don't think Moicano is like this young, dangerous prospect that's just going to KO Beneil Dariush out cold. I think if Moicano wins, it's probably by decision. Like I think he actually will struggle with Beneil Dariush just because he's not that crisp of a striker. Like, he does get tagged up in his fights still. He does wear damage badly. He is a little bit chinny, like, not as much lately, but, you know, it's been a theme throughout his career. He goes on a good run, then he runs into some old head and gets chinned. Or gets fucking destroyed, you know what I mean? I think Beneil Dariush has a very good chance to win this fight. I'm going to say Beneil Dariush wins this by decision. I think it's going to be a feel-good moment for Beneil Dariush. I think there's other guys that, like... I think there's other top guys that Moicano would do better against, or that he would beat. You know what I mean? But I think Beneil Dariush specifically, with time off as well to recover his chin, is actually a very hard matchup for Moicano. Like, I see Moicano similar to Gamrot, except less output grappling, way more, like, dominant with his ground and pound, but way less, like, spam takedown. And I would say, like, their chin is pretty similar, except Moicano's taken a lot more damage in his career, and he's older. So, and a little bit more injury prone. So I'm going to say Beneil Dariush actually pulls this one off by decision. I know that's probably a little bit unpopular. Speaking of which, featured fight. My purpose is to come, and I'm coming very hard for this fight. Dude, I cannot make this prediction, bro. I know that in my video, like, dude, I really think Jamahal Hill's going to win, but I could also, like, the thing is, bro, I know for a fact, I know this. Jamahal Hill will hurt Yuri Prochazka. He will outstrike him early on. Jamahal Hill's going to calf kick the fuck out of him. He's going to be way more accurate. He's going to make Yuri Prochazka miss. He's going to tag him up with his jab. He's going to tag him up with hooks. He's a southpaw, which is going to mean those calf kicks are going to be a lot more readily available for Jamahal Hill there against Yuri Prochazka, which is a big weakness for him. But at the same time, I can just see Yuri Prochazka going through the storm of Jamahal Hill, like rocking him early on and tagging him up, landing good shots. Because Jamahal Hill is the type of guy to TKO you rather than flatline KO you. Yuri Prochazka will straight up KO you out cold. Like, that's just what it is. Like, if he hurts you, you're way more likely to get finished. If Jamahal Hill hurts you, there's a chance you survive that fight. I don't know, dude. I'm just gonna... dude, because, like, think about it like this. Jamahal Hill completely dominated Glover Teixeira. Yuri Prochazka went to fucking war with Glover Teixeira and got rocked so badly on the feet, got fucking pieced up, nearly got finished multiple times. He did good in that fight as well, but it was like a back and forth close fight. I thought Glover Teixeira was about to win that fight. Whereas Jamahal Hill dominated Glover Teixeira. Got caught a little bit, but like on the scorecards, dominated way more than Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka goes out there against Alexander Rakic and gets dominated, but then finds a way to win. Jamahal Hill's the type of guy to TKO you later in a fight. Whereas Yuri Prochazka is going to KO you in one exchange. So, dude. Oh, my God. I'm just going to stick with my guns, dude. I'm going to say Jamahal Hill wins. Jamahal Hill's going to win this. He's going to be salty as fuck. He's going to cut a promo. I don't give a fuck, dude. I can really see Yuri Prochazka winning, but I'm just going to go with Jamahal Hill. His chin is probably better. He's a lot more accurate. He's got better defense. Yuri Prochazka relies on his chin a lot, and it just got cracked really badly in his last fight. I'm going to pick Jamahal Hill, dude. Fuck it. I'm going to pick Jamahal Hill. All right, man. Co-main event now. Hey, guys, don't wait, guys. I talk about this fight for a long time, guys. Hey, guys, I've already made a video about this, so I'm not going to yap too long about it. I'm picking Umar Nurmagomedov to beat Merab Dvalishvili by decision. I feel like he's going to be able to scramble defensively very well early on. He's a way better striker than Merab. He's got a big size and reach advantage over Merab. I think that the way that he fights as well, he's very bladed, he's kick heavy. It's going to be hard for Merab to take him down off double legs. Merab's going to have to shoot a lot of single legs or going to have to catch kicks off Umar. And I think that while, yes, it's risky to kick a wrestler, when you're Umar Nurmagomedov and you're training with fucking Khabib and Islam and you're proving to be an elite grappler as well as being one of the best strikers in the division, I think that Umar Nurmagomedov is a really bad matchup for Merab. I don't think he's going to chin him. I think Merab is going to come on strong maybe in like round 4, maybe round 3 and win a round. Maybe it's like a 48-47, but I feel like for the majority of the fight, it's going to be Umar Nurmagomedov kicking at range, jabbing at range, defending takedowns. He fights the hands, rolls out of it, or, you know, reverses position. Scrambles really well with Merab, better than pretty much anyone that we've seen before. And I think that in the striking, he's good enough to cause damage, front kick Merab to the body, whip up head kicks to make his hands stay up high, leg kick him really hard. I'm going to say Umar Nurmagomedov wins 49-46 based on just being a way better striker. He's, like I said in my prediction video, what it really comes down to is all the things that made O'Malley kind of a hard matchup for Merab. I think that Umar is like a way better grappler than Sean O'Malley and only a slightly worse striker. That's really what it comes down to. I think it's going to be really hard to KO Merab if you're not also a very good grappler. And I think it's going to be hard to beat him with just being a pure striker. Like even Piotr Jan's out there getting 50-45. I think you have to be like a really good grappler and like a solid enough striker to make it count. Like we saw Henry Cejudo have success. We saw Jose Aldo have success. These are guys that we know are extremely fucking hard to take down, extremely hard to grapple. I think Umar is right now is the best chance to beat Merab. I'm going to say that he's able to defend the takedowns and get offense going out of it, especially at range. Like, bro, his striking is going to be levels above Merab, I believe. I think he's going to fuck him up to the body with kicks. I think he's going to hurt him with knees in close. Yeah, I'm going to say Umar Nurmagomedov wins this by decision. Now, main event. I talked about this yesterday. I said Arman Tsarukyan is giving me these Leon Edwards vibes. I'm extremely fucking worried, but I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to stand my base. I'm going to pick Islam Makhachev by decision. I think Islam's going to be able to outbox Arman Tsarukyan later on in the fight. I think he's going to be able to defend takedowns better as the fight goes on. I do think he'll get countered early on badly and like hurt if he's kick heavy, because Arman Tsarukyan's really good at countering kicks with punches. I think Arman's going to be able to take down Islam Makhachev. I think he's going to be able to cause damage on the ground with elbows. But I think as the fight goes on, Islam Makhachev's going to be better at, first of all, keeping one pace or picking up the pace to win the fight later on. We saw that against Dustin Poirier. Even against Volkanovski, he's able to go 5 rounds and, you know, do just enough to win if it's close. Whereas Arman Tsarukyan, he does kind of slow down over 5 rounds. So I think that Arman Tsarukyan has all the skills, all the physical attributes. Being a shorter opponent with a longer reach advantage really reminds me of Volk. And I think he's bigger than Volk. He's going to be just as good at defending takedowns, and he's going to be able to get offensive takedowns a lot easier. We know this already. He already took down Islam in their first fight. So I think the way that this goes, Arman Tsarukyan wins the early couple of rounds with his wrestling, landing jabs on the feet. He's feigning takedowns, landing overhands. He's countering the kicks of Islam Makhachev a lot to get takedowns and also to land hooks. And I think in 3, 4, and 5, we're going to see Islam Makhachev abandon kicking, go more into the clinch with like uppercuts, hooks, body shots. He's not going to really kick as much. He's just going to box, and he's going to stuff the takedowns of Arman Tsarukyan, maybe threaten some submissions. And I'm going to say Islam Makhachev wins a very close decision, like 48-47, controversial-ish kind of decision. I think this is the hardest fight for Islam at 155. I made a whole video about it yesterday, so I'm not going to retread all that. You can watch that again if you haven't seen it. Yeah, I think this is a really, really hard fight for Islam. I think this main event's going to be a fucking war. It's going to be really entertaining. I think the fight of the night is going to be Yuri versus Jamal or Dawson versus Ferreira. Maybe the main event is the fight of the night as well. Like I said, I think it's going to be really entertaining. And yeah, man, these are my full card predictions for UFC 311. I've got Makhachev, I've got Umar, I've got Jamal, I've got Dariush, and I've got Rainier Derrida. We'll see how it fucking goes, boys. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. If you're enjoying the videos, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA. I really appreciate all you guys, man. Have a good day, boys. Goodbye.